From the International Convention Center in downtown Jerusalem, I'm Mark Golub with a Shalom TV exclusive as we're here to take part in the 2013 Presidential Conference. People from all over the Jewish world have flocked to Jerusalem, especially for tonight's celebration, where we will be celebrating the 90th birthday of Israeli President Shimon Peres. Such great world leaders will be here, such as former President Bill Clinton. Tony Blair will be here. And scheduled to perform is perhaps the greatest single female performer of the United States, certainly in the Jewish world, Barbara Streisand. All here to celebrate Shimon Peres' 90th birthday as part of the 2013 Presidential Conference. Everybody is here, and one of our favorite people is here. Ellie Cohanim, who you've seen many times, who anchors here on Shalom TV. First of all, what's it like for you to come to Jerusalem and to the President's Conference?
Coming to Jerusalem is always a dream come true. It's really a magical place. I feel like as soon as I step off the plane in Israel, breathe the air, I feel like a new person. The President's Conference is really an exciting opportunity to really think about all the major issues facing the world and the Jewish community in Israel. And this year, as you know, is President Shimon Peres' 90th.
Unbelievable.
So it's a huge honor to be here.
Is this your first time at the Presidential Conference?
It's my first time at the conference.
Ours too, and for many of you, Shalom TV is bringing this conference to you for the first time. Ellie has some people she'd like to interview for you, just to introduce you again to some of the very wonderful people who are here. Ellie, I'm going to turn the microphone over to you.
I'm here with Gary Rosenblatt, publisher, editor of the New York Jewish Week. Gary, you are at every important event I think I've ever been to. What brings you to this one?
I heard you were going to be here, so that's great. Well, this is a place where a lot of news happens, where you meet a lot of newsmakers, and I was here last year, enjoyed it a lot, so I thought I would come back again.
So I think I saw your name on the speakers panel. Can you tell us a little bit about the panel you're doing?
So I'm moderating a panel on Tikkun Olam, and not whether it's good or bad, but the panelists who are going to be on are very remarkable people, very accomplished people in terms of the good works that they do. And I think part of the discussion will be about that, about what they are doing, and also about whether Tikkun Olam has, in some ways for younger people, almost replaced traditional Judaism. And the effort has been more towards the rest of the world, more humanitarian versus the more parochial kinds of issues. I don't know where the discussion will go, but I think we'll probably touch on that at some point.
Sounds like an amazing discussion. So I have to say, in my own experience with young American Jews, Tikkun Olam is definitely, a lot of Jewish service learning programs that are doing incredible work. But it is a question. I mean, what do you think, Gary? Do we replace caring for the Jewish community with caring for the world at large?
I don't think it's an either or. According to Jewish tradition, you take care of your own first, and then you reach out and take care of others. So I think that's still a good balance. And the question is whether for some young people, whether they are almost rejecting Jewish traditional values or interpreting them in a way that it's more strictly about humanitarian work for others. So they're all good works. They're all good, but we'll see where it goes. I look forward to it.
Me too. So we are so pleased to have Gary Rosenblatt of the New York Jewish Week with us, and I'm hoping to catch your panel tomorrow.
Thanks very much. Great.
By the way, everybody is here, but two of the most wonderful people here I'm standing with now, Itamar Rabinowitz and Dan Gillerman. By the way, gentlemen, what's it mean to you that we have this presidential conference on the anniversary of Shimon Peres' 90th birthday?
Well, it has meaning on several levels. Two of them are, we both are friends of and worked for Shimon Peres, and we really admire him and love him. And being able to celebrate it together with him and for him is a great privilege. But his ability to draw to Israel this number and this quality of an audience, a group of participants, makes us very optimistic.
Lovely. Dan?
First of all, we, not only both of us, but I think all Israelis and I think people around the world, Jews and non-Jews, admire and love Shimon Peres. He is probably the most popular Israeli, and not only that, but he embodies Israel's history. He is a walking history of Israel. He was there at the birth of Israel, and he's still there now, as strong as ever. We love him, we admire him, we wish him many more years, and I say publicly to you on television that both Itamar and I will be here on his 100th birthday.
That is wonderful.
I am so excited to have with me Cheryl Fishbein. I know Cheryl from the many, many Jewish organizations she's involved with. But Cheryl, can you tell us some of the Jewish boards you're on?
Oh, my goodness. Well, I have to say, I'm on the board of the Jewish Agency, so that brings me to Israel hopefully 3 or 4 times a year. As well, I'm very active and on the board of UJ Federation of New York and many other organizations that allow me to represent the American Jewish community. And it is really a great pleasure to help create community, help foster Jewish peoplehood, create as we get into a more modern world, we have a global Jewish community now, and we want to be one, is what we want.
Cheryl, that is really amazing, everything you just said. So I feel like you stole some of my questions from me. But I do want to know what specifically brought you to the President's Conference this year?
Well, I try to come to the President's Conference every year. I've been here either 4 or 5 years, I believe. I might have missed one along the way. But it gives a chance. I think President Peres looks to tomorrow, and the idea is to try to develop a strategy for continuing Jewish strength, continuing Israeli strength, and most importantly, to honor the President on his 90th birthday.
Remember one thing.
Yes?
You know where the United States was when it was 65 years old?
Not where Israel is today.
No, pardon me. 30% slaves, 85%, are you ready? 85% agrarian. And guess what? 20 years later, 660,000 people were murdered in the name of slavery. And guess what? We're the great democracy. Does that tell you something?
Your hope for Israel is strong, yes?
Strong. Every day it's stronger.
Look, forgive me for asking the question,
Anything.
but anything. Thank you. Everybody
And this
watching
is
wants to know if I'm talking to you. Was the issue over the JNF and Bill Clinton's fee appropriate or nonsense?
The whole thing was silliness.
Okay.
Silliness. I was with Bill Clinton last night. He was a very dear friend. He had nothing to do with it. This is the media looking, and here's the bottom line.
Yes.
What I always say, if Israel was Bangladesh, nobody would make fun of us. No, there wouldn't be any anti-Semitism.
Okay. But anybody who contributes to JNF does not have to worry that their dollars are going to pay Bill Clinton $500,000 to speak at
Bill Clinton wanted no money. He has a foundation, and most of that money would have gone to the peace process, including Palestinians. Hello?
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 Okay.
Much to do about
I spoke with Bill Clinton last night, and he specifically said he never asked for any money for this event.
Isn't
Not
it amazing?
one dime.
Isn't it amazing how something is made out of nothing?
Yeah.
By
But
the way,
remember one thing: the
yes?
dog that has the bone is in the most danger.
All right. I want you to know this. You know, I grew up loving JNF. I'm that kid in the Talmud Torah.
Hey, wait a minute, the guy with the banners and the nickels.
That's
Me.
right.
That's me.
You too, right?
Of course we
okay.
are.
I'm a huge fan of Russell Robinson.
Yep, good.
He's on our panel of advisors. And I just want to say to you publicly, as you're being seen right now all over the United States on Shalom TV, thank you, JNF, and the work you do especially. Kol tuv v'hatzlacha.
How about Sderot, where we built an indoor playground in 32 weeks?
By the way, the list goes on and on and on. Say Shalom to Shalom TV viewers.
Shalom to Shalom TV.
It's an incredible privilege to be here. I mean, it's a joy because it's a microcosm of the Jewish world, and to be able to participate and just be a part of it is really outstanding.
You know, one of the issues is Hamachar. What's tomorrow going to bring? I'm asking you as a rabbi, as someone who has cared about pluralism in the United States, what do you see now for the future of Jewish pluralism here in the state of Israel?
Well, I'm an optimist, so I can say with confidence that Jewish pluralism is something that will help unify and build the peoplehood agenda of the state of Israel, even though on any given day it doesn't look like pluralism is winning.
How are you doing yourself? How's the organization going?
We're in a growth period. We are just started our summer program, which is an intensive program, and we're going higher and higher.
Well, I love to put you on Shalom TV all the time. We have to do more and more together.
Looking forward.
Kol tuv v'atzlacha.
Thank you so much.
Ellie Cohanim.
You know, it's once in a lifetime event. It's the happening. But it's a nice thing for a man to live to be 90 and to be appreciated more now than he's ever was in his whole lifetime.
Exactly right. Yeah. And by the way, why is that?
You know,
How do you see the arc of Shimon Peres?
Well, he had tough times. People didn't like him. They were jealous. They didn't think he was a good leader. And now, all of a sudden, last 4 or 5 years, he's the symbol. He's the unifier. He's the philosopher. He's the Jewish leader. It's nice. You know, the Jewish people need it. And now the whole world's come here to say thank you.
Peres has reached icon status. And the give and take and the ups and downs of Israeli politics are now something that he has surpassed and has gone beyond. And I think we see that in America with political figures. I talked about President Clinton, whose approval ratings are sky high now. President Bush's, George W. Bush's approval ratings and his father's approval ratings are sky high. What happens is people get out of the give and take of electoral politics and they're remembered for their sort of lifetime achievements. And I think that's where Shimon Peres is now. And you see that he's using this office not just to throw big parties, but really to move forward the goals of the Jewish people and the goals of the State of Israel.
In many ways, this is a sign of the coming of age of the State of Israel, that we're here to celebrate a 90-year-old Israeli icon. But more than that, we're here to celebrate the State of Israel. And as you've heard, person after person really talk about the miracle of the Jewish state. To be able to enable you to share this extraordinary Jewish moment, whether you're Jewish or not Jewish, no matter where you are in the Jewish community, this event brings us all together. And for all of you who are watching in the United States on Shalom TV, I hope it also is a moment that binds us all together. But Ellie Cohanim, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
Until the next time, I'm Mark Golub. Be well, my friends.